Want to trade with Rithika? Join Chase at www.laductrading.com/chase.
Guys, hope you had a great week. Last week, as you can see, we continued, right? Pushing above that 5,900 level. And now we're kind of just digesting above that. So last week, when I showed you the chart, I discussed how this level here at 5730 was weekly resistance. As long as we came down, retested that and held, we'd likely push higher. That's pretty much what ended up happening. So as you can see here, we are just slow grinding to the upside. So I would say any selling will likely get bought up, at least until we push into the previous high at 6,100. So I don't see anything that's breaking down in the market as such. And the wicks, for example, gave us the clue that it's very weak. We're coming down into the trend line. We broke the trend line. We're coming down into 16.6 support. So, I mean, we could have some weakness to start the week, even though Wix is on support, but any bounce probably rejects 20 and we're still going to continue lower into 13. So that ideally means the market as well. Even if it has any kind of small digestion, I would say like this, even if we have a small digestion, it likely gets bought back and we continue higher. So for now, I am still looking for us to make new highs, but keep in mind, as I've mentioned in the past, that if we do go up to make the high, it would be the top, and I would be looking at a very large short after we make that high. We're not there yet. We still have some ways to go, especially on QQQ, for example. You can see that we've still not even come back into the channel and gone on top. So ideally, any digestion again gets bought up and we still have a long way to go. And even on IWM, for example, you can see that we are just, we could consider this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in that case, ideally we need to break above, make the new high for this pattern finish up. So right now we're still stuck in a chop zone. It still needs to break above 220. Ideally 230 to actually break out, given that we keep rejecting there. We're just chopping this 170 to 230 range on IWM. So until all three break out and make a top, only then would the top be in place and we could look at a more broader market weakness. Otherwise, most selling just looks to be temporary and profit taking. So yeah, with that being said, let's look at the dollar, for example, and you can see that we did have that oversold bounce and now we're just kind of going sideways. So as I've mentioned in the past, even on the dollar, this is your weekly channel of support. So I am still looking for it to come back into the support at 97.7 and probably even test 96.5. I still don't think that the bottom is in yet for the dollar, so that could lead to a bit more market bullishness. And the yields, again, we have kind of been stuck in the 4 to 4.5 region. Sam says as long as we're between that, the markets can stay bid. So yeah, keep an eye on that. If we get over 4.8 again, that could again cause some weakness in the market. So ideally, these are all the factors that I am looking at. So now let's look at the chart of Amazon. You can see we went sideways for 4 weeks. We broke out. So ideally, as long as we stay, for me, I've kept my short stop shorter. I would say that this weakness, as you can see here, maybe this Monday weakness comes down, we retest the support, but I am looking to buy the dip off this Monday weakness. And I do think that Amazon, again, like the rest of the market, progresses higher. You can see here we broke the channel, so we're ideally at minimum going to retest the channel even if we want to form that head and shoulder pattern. So above 200, we're still going to head towards 210, 220 pretty easily on Amazon. So just kind of look to see if the dip holds for a high this week on Amazon. The next one I have is FedEx. And so on FedEx, what I have is, as you can see here, it does look like an ABC pattern on FedEx. So I mean, whether I'm bullish or bearish, at the very least, if you go to the 15-minute time frame, right, you'll be able to see that this is the channel we've been in. So at the bare minimum, we're gonna come down and at least hit this 225, 223. So that ideally still give you a 2-3% short on options. So I am just looking for a short-term weakness into the bottom of this channel. On FedEx, probably if it's an ABC pattern, then you can see here this gap at 217 will come down to fill. But yeah, let's see what we do at these trend lines. At minimum, I would say 225, 223 will fill. And if that breaks 217 is possible on FedEx. So that's the reason I have a FedEx short, is I think we will come back down to fill this gap if the market is weak. Next, we have Rivian. And the reason I have Rivian, you can see here, we're actually breaking out. This has been a downturn for almost 2 years. And again, we have been sideways in this channel for almost 15, 16 months. So if we do break out of 15.6, I would say it should easily push into 17. You break 17, it should easily push into 20. You break 20, then should easily move on to 30 and higher. But yeah, it does look like the bottom is in. So when this breaks, it should have a pretty nice bullish move. So keep your eye on Rivian. And last but not the least, I have Baba. And the reason for that is, again, whether I'm bullish or bearish, I do think short-term weakness is possible into 120 on Baba. So I'm just kind of looking to short this into 120. If more weakness is possible, then we do have a lot more gap into 108. For that, we would need to break below 119. And then I would say that 115.5 and 108 would be possible. But yeah, for now, just kind of look for the weakness into 120. But yeah, I'm not saying that we're going to be bearish about it. It is pretty choppy, so I don't have a sense of direction. Just look short on the weak on the short-term time frame. All right, that's all I have for this week. I hope you have a great day.
Join Chase to trade with Rithika and other experts. Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more Wolf's weekly wave list videos and other content.